KwaZulu-Natal is one of South Africa's most dynamic provinces, known for its strategic location, diverse economy, and abundant natural resources. As a leading investment destination, the province hosts its annual Trade and Investment Conference, prioritizing innovation, strategic development, and partnerships in order to stimulate economic activity back into the region again.
You are all welcome to this beautiful city. When you find time, I want to also invite you to explore other youth development that this city has.
It's an investment conference for the province of KwaZulu-Natal, which is aimed at affording an opportunity to the prospective investors, in particular to showcase KwaZulu-Natal so as to attract investment. So far, more than 70 billion has been committed, which is an investment which is targeted to be, in fact, done in a period of 24 months. There is much more investment in the province, but which are long-term. But the ones that were, in fact, reflected today, they are the ones of a period of 24 months. And it's also a call to further investors that KwaZulu-Natal is open for investment, and that we are working towards ensuring that the environment is conducive for business.
Companies have committed to the presidential investment drive, pledging significant investments in KZN that will contribute toward our national target of 2 trillion rand in investments over the medium term. We applaud those companies already on board. With our enabling industrial policy, we're expanding the special economic zones, promoting export-led growth, and harnessing the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement.
Precisely by establishing as a first priority the stabilization of the province politically, but also dealing with criminal elements, and also by ensuring that we get business to gain and regain confidence to invest in our provinces. Just as you can see, this conference is a milestone, because you wouldn't get businesses to come and invest in an area in which there is a lot of instability, in which they think their businesses are going to go up in smoke. So this is key. But we are not only talking about these ones that, important as they are, these ones that have pledged more than 75 billion rand of investments, which is already here on the ground in KwaZulu-Natal. We hope to grow that, by the way, to beyond 100 million rand by the time we go to the National Investment Conference next year in March.
Our inability to focus on issues that matter, on that stuff which will actually begin to make an impact on the lives of the people, it's quite a challenge. I'm really saying to all stakeholders who are here this morning, let's begin to coalesce around those issues that will take this province forward and hopefully begin to make a dent in the economic growth.
So the Trade Investment Conference this year is an ongoing initiative of the Department of Economic Development, Economic Development, Tourism and Environmental Affairs under the leadership of KZN as an investment promotion agency. Today, we are bringing together all the investors and also bringing together the private sector and government to start talking about issues that are important to grow the economy of KwaZulu-Natal. This conference will also start talking about how do we then grow our province potential beyond just the urban grown areas, starting to look at rural economy, looking at township economy, because our economic growth has got to be an inclusive economic growth. We shouldn't leave anybody behind.
The conference also facilitated networking opportunities, enabling business owners to build relationships with industry leaders and potential partners. Additionally, discussions on access to finance and government support programs highlighted the challenges faced by small to medium enterprises and potential solutions to address them.
I think the time is better now than ever before for small medium enterprises to actually step up, come and access finance to back themselves in this region. I think that with the presence of the Department of Trade, Industry and Competition here, the Minister, the Deputy Minister here, I saw quite a number of significant senior officials here who are custodians of export agency, of a number of financing agencies that are meant to support the stimulation of medium enterprises into various industries. Their presence here speaks of the public sector support. We are here as part of the private sector support in that effort, and I think this conference is a great platform for the two to meet. Public and private sector availed to entrepreneurs who might not have received the kind of support that was warranted over the last few years, but now the game is on, the opportunity is now.
KZN is known for its abundant natural resources. Can you just share your backstory in starting a business within the timber industry?
The story behind the business is that I'm an IT professional to start with. My husband started this business in 2019 and sadly passed away in 2020. So I had to make a decision whether I'll go ahead or what do I do with the business. I had to look at the number of employees in the business. He had about 40 employees in the Richmond. So I realized that that's a huge number in a very small community. So I decided, let me move ahead and go ahead with the business. So I decided in 2021 to revamp it, to own it, because I was not a director in his business. So I started it afresh. So Akili Timber is a name that relates to me. It speaks to me. I named it Akili, meaning wisdom. It's a Swahili word meaning wisdom. So I decided to call it wisdom because I needed a lot of wisdom to get to that decision of going ahead. KZN has been helping us in terms of being export ready. We are now export ready. They helped us go through the process of applying to be an export company to do exports. And they've helped us after the floods last year. And they've been walking through us with the journey, and they've also helped us to try and access markets overseas. They've linked up with us with a client that's in South Korea, which was giving us a nice exposure in exploring what is it that we can do for exports. And we also have a relationship with the KZN ITIA, who have identified us as one of the companies that they want to work with as black industrialists in KZN. So we are also in the process with them. They've sent Productivity SA to help us look at the processes within the business, identify the areas of improvement. So we are in the process with Productivity SA at the moment. So between those two companies, ITIA and KZN, there's also synergies. There's always synergies where one will pass on the name to the other. So we are very grateful for, I would say, the partnership we have with them.
So we specialize in sustainable and handcrafted accessories. We cater for both men, women and children. So we make earrings, we make bow ties, we make ties, we use African prints, we use offcuts, we use a lot of offcuts and other materials that we collect that you can get from different designers. So we are based on the south coast of Durban in a little township called Amandawe in Scottborough, and we at the moment it's just my sister and my family because we work from home. But the vision is to expand and get a place where we can bring these girls in. We use off-cut materials that we collect from different designers around South Africa and factories and some of our customers. KZN came through at a very crucial stage in our business. I think we're still 2 or 3 years old, or maybe 4 years old, and we went through export program that now our business be able to import and export and sell to customers overseas. They've taken us to fashion show in London fashion show last year, so that did expose our brand, and for us to just go out there and see how business is done and who our target market is. And now we know that definitely it's tourists, it's corporate giftings, and it is weddings. We know that those are definitely our customers.
The KZN Investment Conference witnessed significant investment pledges aimed at stimulating economic activity in the region. These investments are expected to create jobs, boost local economies, and drive long-term development in the province.
Well, we're developing a completely off-grid network of charging stations for both passenger vehicles and commercial vehicles. And the first commercial vehicle network we're developing is on the N3 between Durban and Johannesburg for 200 vehicles, and that's simply a massive project comprising 170 megawatt peak of solar and 360 kilowatt hours of battery storage. We believe that with the Chinese manufacturers entering the South African market, the more affordable vehicles in the 250,000 Rand market bracket is going to enter our market. And worldwide, the experience have been that once those affordable vehicles enter the market and there's a national charging network that's reliable and always on, you get that exponential growth going, first of all, to 5%, and in all markets where it reached 5% of new vehicle sales, it went to 15% of new vehicle sales within 3 years, and we expect that uptick to happen from the middle of next year. And with the new support from the president just announced for the EV migration, I think we're at the cusp of that exponential growth.
KwaZulu-Natal has been steadily overcoming its socio-economic challenges, demonstrating resilience and innovative approaches to attract both domestic and international investment. In order to attract and retain these investments, a collaborative effort between the police, government, investors, and local communities is essential.
I think the biggest problem is the resolution that was taken by government, the policy of the 30%, the local beneficiation. I think that has created a bit of a challenge in KZN specific, because it was a policy that was not necessarily enforced, and that's what created a problem, because you will have a project that worth millions of rands, and the company employed to execute such a project is not maybe locally based to wherever the project is taking place. So for instance, you have a project in Newcastle, but you take a company from Durban to go and operate in Newcastle. So, and the locals start asking about this 30%. And majority of the time you'll find the companies will be thinking of labor only, that they must just employ labor to come and work there. But because there's other emerging business people in the area, they start demanding that the policy doesn't talk about just labor. It talks about subcontracting, developing them also to be able to do business. And I think with that disagreements, it has seen a development of or emerging of the so-called business forums in this province. And because they were driving that and saying, but the policy says this, you cannot bypass it. So the forums then just grew. And in some of instances they became violent, and that started threatening business. A big project started being threatened by that, and I must say then criminal activities also started cropping in, because some of the people started demanding the 30% without doing anything. They want to be paid even if they are not doing anything, and they start asking for protection fees and so forth. So we've had to face those challenges in the province. But I must say, with working together from the security cluster, government department, as well as business sector, we've been trying to manage that process and those threats. So there's been minimum of them.
The conference has highlighted the province's growing appeal as a hub for investment and economic development. As KwaZulu-Natal continues to take advantage of its strategic advantages, the conference has highlighted how important or the vital role that the province plays in South Africa's economic future.